Hello everyone, today we're going to look at something pretty cool. It's called the Control Structure Identifier, or csIdentifier for short. Now just think of it as a digital board game, but one that's designed to help students master one of the toughest parts of programming.
But this all starts with a really big question, right? How do we get students to actually think like a programmer, especially when there's no teacher around to help them out?
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at a major gap in learning. Then we'll dive into a gamified solution for it. We'll check out its impact, see the proof that it works, and finally, talk about what's next.
All right, first up, a gap in learning. This is all about the challenge of putting what you learn into practice on your own.
Okay, so here's the problem in a nutshell. A lot of students really struggle to use programming logic by themselves. In class, with a lecturer guiding them, it's one thing. But when they're alone, that support just isn't there, and they get stuck on the basics.
So how do you fix that? Well, that brings us to our next part, a gamified, guided solution. Let's introduce the Control Structure Identifier.
So what is the csIdentifier exactly? Well, it's this awesome digital board game tool. It takes a teaching method that we know works, a verbal questioning technique, and turns it into something you can interact with. The whole point is to walk students step by step through the logic to find the right control structure, every single time.
And how does it pull this off? Well, it gives you a clear path to follow with simple yes or no style questions. And it's all wrapped up in this fun board game interface. You get a scoring system, you get instant feedback on your answers, and best of all, you can learn at your own pace. It's a pretty neat setup.
Okay, so a tool like this has a much bigger effect than just on one student. Let's talk about the impact on users and society. You'll see this structured approach has some really widespread benefits. And really, everybody wins here. For students, their logical thinking gets better and their confidence just soars. For lecturers, it means less time spent repeating the same explanations over and over. And for society, we're building up those computational thinking skills that are so important for the future, for IR 4.0.
That all sounds great, but what's the proof? Does it actually work? Let's jump into the evidence of success and look at some real data.
The results? They're really encouraging. Get this, a whopping 80% positive feedback from brand new computer science students, folks learning to code for the very first time. That tells you a lot about how effective and easy to use this thing is.
And it's not just about the numbers. Research at Kedah Matriculation College actually found that students were just more confident. They were more active in class, more engaged with the material. You can see a real shift in how they tackle problems.
So that's what we've seen so far. But what's next? That brings us to our vision for the future, where we can talk about how this can grow and its potential for commercialization.
And the potential here is huge, We're talking about a full web and app platform that could be used in all kinds of ICT courses. It could plug right into the learning management system schools already use. It could be perfect for coding boot camps or TVET programs. Heck, it could even be a tool to help train teachers. And from there, we could just keep adding new modules for things like loops, functions, arrays. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
So when you boil it all down, csIdentifier isn't just another programming tool. It's a bridge. It closes that critical gap between what you learn in a classroom and what you can actually do on your own. It's all about empowering that next generation of problem solvers.
So to wrap things up, we really encourage you to check it out for yourself.
If you want to give it a try, the link is right there on the screen. Thanks so much for your time.